The haters are always going to find a reason to hate, so just be you. Your celebrity crushes and okay, broomer.
Welcome to the Hopefulist, a daily talk show hosted by veteran broadcaster Wendy McClure. Join Wendy each day as she shares her life lessons that transformed her from perpetual pessimist to the ultimate hopefulist. The perfect morning show to get you caught up on the day's top stories while sharing insights that will lead to positive transformation and bring out the hopefulist in you. For more inspiration, visit Hopefulist.com. And now, here's your host and hopefulist, Wendy McClure.
Well, hello and welcome to Wednesday, February 12th, 2020. It is day 152 of Gotta Get on Ellen. So my husband came home yesterday, and if you missed yesterday's podcast, I gave him big props. I thanked him for being a wonderful husband, the saint that he is, being grateful that he is mine. So he thanked me, came home, said, "Thanks for the props today, babe." I was like, "You're welcome." He goes, and then you immediately threw me under the bus. Because then I was talking about how he has a very bad habit of dirtying up his car. Yes, he does treat it like a trash can. It is much better than it used to be, since I am on him about it all the time. But it's still, it's kind of grimy in there. Now, he had just had to have some repairs done on his car because he had hit a deer. And they had his car for about 3 weeks. And when he got it back, they had cleaned the inside. I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be clean for like a week. So here I am throwing him under the bus again. But it was just so funny because he's like, "Thanks for the big props, babe." I'm like, "You're welcome." And he's like, "And then you threw me under the bus." Oh, well, with the good always comes a little bit of bad. Am I right? Am I right? So I wanted to tell you about a DM that I got from my niece Samantha yesterday. Because, I've been going crazy over the fact that Rachel Hollis shared one of my posts in her story. So my niece sent me a DM on Instagram last night and said, when someone shares your story like that, that means that your DMs are open. So if you DM her something, she'll get a notification as if someone she follows messaged her. So you may want to respond, but make it good. So I immediately got back to her and said, "Oh, I did. No response. Thanks for the info, though. I thought this message was from her." So she wrote back, "Ha ha. Sorry to get your hopes up." So I just thought that was a little funny. Gave me a little chuckle because I did. I saw that there was a notification to my DMs, and I'm like, "Oh my God, is it Rachel Hollis?" No, it is not. But I am always equally as excited to hear from my beautiful, adoring, wonderful, happening niece who keeps me up on all of the social media platforms that I am not so great with. And I'm getting much better on Instagram, but she gave me some good Instagram lessons when I do see her. She also tried to teach me Snapchat, which I kind of just have, just kind of given up on. It's just not my thing, I don't think. I'm on Snapchat, and I've snapped a couple of times. Now, Snapchat has the greatest filters. They really do, but everybody else has some really cool filters now as well. Instagram, I never even use them, to be honest with you. Once in a while, I'll get into a weird mood, and I'll be bored, and I'll just take a bunch of pictures of myself with all the different filters and such that they have, and some of them are pretty cool. Some of them are pretty creepy as well. But Samantha usually gets me up to speed on what I need to know. I also go to my cousin, my young cousin, 16-year-old now, Olivia, to help me with some things. She actually got an iMac for Christmas, and I may have to get some lessons from her. Actually, my good friend Cheryl offered to help me out with my iMac problems, and I'm definitely going to take her up on that. I'm going to compile a list of questions and find out from her, how do I work this damn thing? I had actually thought about returning it. I don't know if I've mentioned this before. I really did consider returning the iMac because I am struggling so much with it. But one of the reasons I wanted to go to a Mac is because I want to be able to develop my own pictures and videos and worksheets and all kinds of stuff for the Hopefulist. And I know that the iMac will be better suited for those purposes. So it wasn't just because I wanted to have a cool iMac. I mean, that certainly had something to do with it. You know, I wanted to be as cool as everybody else with their iMac. But I could take that back and get a regular computer for $250. And let me tell you, the iMac was not $250. But I'm going to stick with it because I think that I'll figure it all out with some help. So, Cheryl, I will be taking you up on your offer just so that you know. I believe she listens every day. She tells me she does anyway. So I'm kind of making my way through the iMac. I'm still using my old computer to record my podcast every day because that part I know Cheryl can't help me with because she doesn't use that portion of it. So I actually have a call scheduled with a friend of mine who helps me get started in all of this podcast wonderfulness. He is actually the intro and outro for my show. You know, Matthew, I used to mention him all the time. And so hopefully I will be able to use my new computer to record the podcast soon. So now that I've gone off on a complete and total tangent, I will get back to today's show. How does that sound? Yes? Okay. All right. I am getting back to the show. So yesterday I kept seeing on Instagram and Facebook people still doing the broom challenge, which is funny because the initial rumor was that would only happen on February 10th because that's when the axis was at the perfect angle and the gravity pull and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not a science girl. So it was supposed to be February 10th, and people are still doing it. Have you seen the meme that's going around with the aisle in Walmart where they have all the brooms standing up by themselves? That one is pretty funny. So I'm still seeing people do this, and I feel a little bit sorry for them because I think they're falling for it. But somebody had posted that one of the funniest comments they had seen through this whole broom challenge thing was somebody wrote, "Okay, broomer." You know, like the young, cool, hip kids say about their parents when they say, "Okay, boomer." You know, that is an insult in case you are not aware. If you are a boomer and somebody says, "Okay, boomer," to you, and they're called, of course, referring to the generation of baby boomers, they're saying that you're old and not cool. Just in case you didn't know that, I wanted you to be aware. That is an insult. In fact, I see it most of the time with, we're pretty close with one of Joe's aunts and uncles. They're a couple. And their kids are, I don't know, between 25 and 30, I think. And I just, every time their dad posts something on Facebook, one or the other will always jump in and say, "Okay, boomer." And it's so funny because you have to know him, and I know it makes him insane. I know that it makes him crazy when his daughters are doing this. In fact, there's times when he's like, "Oh, well, maybe I'll take back that $300 I gave you for your textbook," or, you know, you just have to know him. He's very sensitive at times. And I just know that is making him crazy. So, and I kind of get a little joy out of seeing him go crazy because he's an instigator. But he's one of those who instigates better than he takes the instigating. So it's always good to see those people get their due. So I'm going to move right on to the topic for today. I wanted to know your celebrity crush. You know, we're coming up on Valentine's Day. And, you know, we're going to talk a little bit about love and a little bit about whether you actually celebrate Valentine's Day and stuff. That's other things we're going to get into in the week as well. So I thought maybe a fun thing to do for Valentine's Day week would be, who is your celebrity crush? I'm going to go with Bradley Cooper. Yeah, he's my guy. He's an Eagles fan. Hot. That hair. His look has to be all about his hair, because a lot of people don't even remember. I think they do now because he's, such a huge star now. But when he first came out in The Hangover, a lot of people didn't realize that he was also in Wedding Crashers. He played the fiance for Rachel, what is her name? You know, she was in Clueless, and I know you're screaming it out to me. It's not going to come to me. I can just tell. So, that was actually, I love her, and that was actually one of my favorite roles. That was my favorite role, because she was also in, the one with Ryan Gosling, The Notebook. She was also in The Notebook. I thought that her look in Wedding Crashers was the most beautiful I had ever seen her. I just thought she just was such a natural beauty in that movie with her dark hair, and I just wish she would look that way all the time. Of course, I'm sure she does not give a crap about what I think, but I thought she was absolutely stunning in that movie. But Bradley Cooper was in Wedding Crashers, but I think the only difference was that his hair was just a little bit shorter. When he was in The Hangover, he had a little bit of the, more fluff up top, kind of flipped over back and forth a little bit. It's all in the hair, right? He is a hottie, and I love, love, love when they show him at the Eagles games, sitting in the owner's box, cheering on the guys in green. Love my Bradley, and I love my Eagles. In fact, I have a picture of me in Eagles gear today on the blog post. Lisa chimed in with me saying, I like Jackson Maine. Yeah, that was a good role. I thought he did such a good job with that. And it's a shame, really, because he was up for an Oscar, but I didn't think he stood a chance, and he didn't. But a lot of times when you do these really understated roles, you don't get the recognition that you deserve, because people like, drama and, a lot of passion. Like when Jennifer Lawrence won for that, what is wrong with me today? I can't think of anything. That, she won an Oscar, the movie that she won the Oscar for. Bradley Cooper was in it. They were Eagles fans. Nope, not coming. Not coming. But there was a scene of her in a diner talking to Bradley Cooper, and she is freaking out. She is screaming. She probably has spit coming out of her mouth, and I believe that is what got her the Oscar, is the fact that she was so into that scene. Silver Linings Playbook, thank you. All right, I'm running behind here because my thought process is just not up to snuff. Who else do we have celebrity crushes on? Rose says Alex O'Loughlin, and I said, who? And she said, you don't know who that is? And I said, obviously not. And as soon as I said it, Joe said, I think he's on that Hawaii Five-0. She posted a couple of pictures of him. I got to tell him I won't kick him out of my bed. Michelle says Matthew McConaughey, he can bang his bongos in my backyard anytime with or without clothes. Oh, how dare you? You are a married woman. Joe says the Hopefulist. Oh my goodness, that's me. That's my husband. Isn't he the sweetest? So I responded to him. I said, hands off, ladies. He's mine. Lisa said, yes, he is the sweetest. And then Michelle chimes in with, come on, Joe. She's already hard enough to live with. Ha ha. Okay, you don't live with me, so you don't know. I don't have a big head. I mean, I think I'm great, but I'm right. You know what I mean. Jim says Marissa Tomei. Corinne says George Strait. Cheryl says Ryan Reynolds, he needs a mom hug. Carol says the late Patrick Swayze, oh, yummy, and John Bon Jovi.